Good day, everyone. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Sync Conclave, provided to you by Synergy, the annual symposium of NIT Trichy's Mechanical Department. We are diving into the world of analytics today. We are having two alumni, Adithya and Neel, who can offer you a complete overview of the analytics domain.
The first speaker, Adithya, is from the batch of 2021, Mechanical Engineering in IT Trichy. Currently, is working as an associate data analyst at AB InBev. In his college years, he had been a passionate volleyball player, and he was the head of Synergy's marketing and guest lecture team. Second, Neel is also from the batch of 2021, Mechanical Engineering in IT Trichy. Currently working as a planning analyst in Udan. He's a former data analyst at Redens. During his college years, he was head of September events team, and he was also marketing manager at Pragyan. We welcome you to this Sync episode, where we hope you inspire future analysts and data and science enthusiasts. Thank you both for joining us today. Hello Neil, hello Aditya, how are you?
Thank you, guys. Thank you for that introduction. I'm doing extremely well, and it feels great to be back to something that we all started together. So, I hope this serves the purpose.
Yep, that feels good. No, after like it has been like 1.5 years or something, long time. Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're also doing completely great. It's like fourth year OLT season.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
so what's up? Like, is there some queries and all juniors have asked? How is it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bef- Before conducting this interview, we circulated a Google form wherein we asked the juniors to fill in their doubts. So there are a number of doubts they have asked. So we'll one by one ask them and we'll give it back to the viewers. So one doubt which was very prominent is, how do you think that college clubs and teams have helped you in your career? Because you're a part of so many teams and clubs. So you can answer this very well.
Okay, I'll take a dig at this one first. Then Neil can go ahead. Uh, when you get into a corporate culture, according to me, a lot of things are new to you. Whatever you study or whatever you take in college is a very small proportion. Either you apply that or you do not. But there is a lot of soft skills that needs to be there in place for you to survive in this corporate culture. And one of the best places to learn these soft skills, let it be interpersonal communication, let it be leadership, let it be any kind of soft skill, the best place to learn all of this would be the clubs. I personally have learned a lot about myself by leading few of them, by being a part of few of them, and just picking up things from your batchmates, your juniors, your seniors. So, in my opinion, to be very honest, I feel more than the degree, these clubs, these experiences have given me much more that would, I believe, take me to greater heights in the corporate culture. So, yeah, in my opinion, it is extremely important that you guys take part.
Into that a bit more, like for you guys, so when you do your interviews and stuff like that, you'll have technical part will be very good with you guys, but when it comes to HR, people need to prepare a bit on that. But these teams, when you work on that and when you get experience from that, you have a very genuine answers to all the questions they are asking, and they can understand you have actually worked. So it gives a better perspective for the company that it's not that the person is only doing academic, he's also trying to do something out of the box as well. That is something very nice. And the best part that it helps you in the corporate world is, so when you join a team, you have a rough idea. Okay, like for the corporate world also, you have a rough idea. Okay, this is my work day will be, but you actually don't know, and you're like always up. Okay, whatever comes in, I'll like take it and I'll try my best to it. Okay, the similar is with the teams. When you join a team, you just know okay, this will be our work, but on the whole journey, you learn throughout. And the corporate is like that. You don't have the complete picture of it, okay? But you are keen to learn, and you know, okay, like this is something I need to learn, so you will be doing it. So that is something you gain from the teams that helps you in the corporate world, definitely.
Okay. Like the soft skills and the teamwork, especially those things count a lot in your corporate. Great. So there is another question which I'd like to ask. Since Aditya has been working for past 1 year as a associate data analyst, so I would like Aditya to answer this question. So what is the day-to-day job of a data analyst, Aditya?
To be very honest, that's a very tricky question, right? These days, I genuinely believe that every day I log in is a new surprise waiting for me. We never, obviously, we all have plans for the day, for the month, for the year, but the moment you log in, you're almost, at the edge of your seat waiting for something to strike. But if I have to just summarize everything in short, it would basically be doing a lot of churning out numbers and trying to put it into a story. So one of the most important parts of being a data analytics person is not, running models or even coding models. It's all about how you utilize those numbers and how you stitch a story around it and give it to your stakeholders. We all have stakeholders. There are people who consume our numbers at various levels, right? And they do not understand modeling. They do not understand what is a machine learning model or what is a linear regression model. To them, the most important thing is what statistics says. So for us, it becomes even more important to build a very nice story in such a way that they are able to understand. So if I have to put it in short, the time spent as a data scientist or a data analyst is more on story building rather than creating models and all that. So we start off our day, we are creating numbers, then we have internal discussions with the teams, but then we take it to the stakeholders. Stakeholders ask us a billion questions as to yes, why is this happening? Why is that happening? And so on and so forth. And then eventually we arrive at a consensus where all of us are on the same page. So yeah, that would be a day of a data scientist. At least what I've seen.
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. I hope viewers will also be very happy to hear that. My next question would be to Neel. We would like to know, like, for example, all the juniors who are in second and third years, they'll generally have these two options. Like either they go for core or they go for software or analytics. So generally, they don't know much about software and analytics being in mechanical. So can you clarify the difference between software exactly and analytics as such, so that they can make an informed decision as to what to pursue?
Okay, so I'll take a dig on that, okay, and I'll try to explain you guys in a simpler way. So, see, the thing is, no, like, let's say I'll take a very niche example. So, a software developer is someone who builds the product from the scratch, okay? So, from the scratch, he'll be building the product. There'll be a complete different sets of technology he'll be using. And then, after the product is built, there'll be someone using that. So, once you use the product, you generate data from that. That an analyst uses to understand various parametrics in that. Okay, so let's say for instance Facebook, yeah, you can take Facebook for this. Okay, so initially Facebook got developed, you can say, like a long back. Initially it was just a photo platform. It won't have your like feature, won't have a comment feature, won't have your share feature and all. Okay, so initial development was done by a software developer. As the time progresses, they collect data, they understand ki, okay, I need my like users to be more interactive in that. So the data tells them that, okay, to interact them more, we need to give them more interactive things. So they added a like feature. That now that like feature addition is something done by software. Okay, but how they come to an understanding that, okay, this feature needs to be added is somewhere the data analysis takes place. A person understands, analyst understands the data that, okay, these are the metrics people are wanting, but it's not there. So we need to put it forth and we need to come up with it. So I hope you get a bit of understanding that what's a software developer and what does a data analyst do. How is it different? Data analysis is the post work after the product has developed to understand and to analyze more on like your production front, your growth front. It can be various aspects on that. Software is basically you're building the main structure on which your platform will be working. So it's more or less that's the difference. Okay, I can say on an easier way. To go on more detail, it will be more deeper. So I guess this should be good for you guys.
Yeah. So I'm sure those points might be good enough for our viewers to understand the basic difference between software and analytics. So next question will be asked by Adithya.
So like a very common question we all have in mind, like what skills are essential for analytics? Like if someone want to make career in analytics, then what are those skills needed?
Okay, let me take that one. So when you talk about skill sets, right, especially for data analytics, obviously there are things like technical skill sets that you should develop to become good at data analytics. And then there are some other stuff which I like to categorize as soft skills. To start with technical, obviously, any data analytics team that you look at in any company at this point of time use machine learning. They use Python, and these two become the base for whatever you're doing. Yes, you can be good at your soft skill side of things, but until and unless you have these two, it becomes extremely hard for you to create a story or whatever. This is the base, or this is the foundation that you guys are working on. So Python and machine learning become extremely important. I genuinely feel bad that I did not spend enough time during my college days learning all this, because now it has become an added task on my day-to-day calendar where I have to spend time to upskill myself in terms of Python or machine learning or even DL for that matter. So this too, and I think not only for data analytics, right? Excel is one platform which everyone in the corporate culture needs to know about. So Excel is something that goes without saying. So these are the three things that I feel is extremely important for a data analytics person. Obviously, once you get a good grasp of this, a touch of SQL is also equally important, because data analytics people, we work with data and we need this data to be pulled from a data source, from a data lake or whatever. You need SQL server, and that becomes kind of paramount as well. So these would be the four things I feel is extremely important for a data analytics person. And then when it comes to soft skills, obviously stuff like stakeholder management. How do you prioritize which stakeholder you're going to talk to? How are you going to talk to? What information do you withhold? What information do you give? That becomes important. Interpersonal communication skills. You need to be really good at articulating whatever your numbers are saying, and you need to be very clever in the way you churn out the numbers, look at numbers, give new ideas, and all that. So these are specific soft skills that would help you a great deal once you get into the data analytics domain. So I guess these would be the skill sets in technical as well as soft skill side, which are pretty necessary for a data analytic person.
Okay, Neil. So my next question is do you suggest preparing on your own or enrolling in some program?
Okay, so see, when we talk about like, let's say we talk about people who belong to like non-secretarial departments. Okay, am I audible? Right? I'm audible. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Cool. Yeah. So for the people who are from a non-secretarial background, for us, you see, like it's not much importance given to the coding aspect of it. You learn a bit of CAD or something like that, but the only coding thing I remember that was taught in the curriculum was C. Okay, and it's very like unlikely that they are using C for a data analysis anymore. So that becomes of no use for you. But then there are tons of things that you need to know, like Adi told. You need to know Excel at least. Okay, that is like you need to know Excel, not just that I can formulate or format the data. You need to know formulas and stuff. You need to know lookups. You need to know macros. So that there are a lot of detailings in Excel itself. Then there is SQL. There is a need of Python. There is a need of Tableau. So all these things are not hard, but since these are not taught to us, it is something you have to learn extra on. Okay. Now, what happens is I have actually so for me also it like the very same applied for me as well. Okay, so I have tried a lot of platforms, and one thing I realized that to understand how to code or to understand how to structure your whole process of analysis, you need to properly structure your coding skills and your technical skills. Okay, to do that, it's your theoretical knowledge is always not enough. You need to have a good hold on your practical knowledge. Like you can learn and understand that okay, a select statement needs to be written in that way. But is that how you write the statement? You understand when you actually write the statement. Okay. So there are platforms such as you can say there is a platform I use myself that is called Data Camp. Okay. So Data Camp is not a very high level platform that will give you a very higher knowledge. But how it works is it will teach you something and then give you 4 questions on that for you to code and do it. So on the once you get the theoretical knowledge, in the next minute you are typing and like trying to process the function you are learning. So that is something that gives you a grasp at the very same moment, I would believe, and that is something you can remember for a longer time. So if you don't have a hands-on project, also like for people like who belong from the non-core, you don't have a hands-on experience on projects and stuff, it's fine. But when you're applying for analytics firm and all, it's good you practice on such sites which gives you questions. You can try, I guess, Hacker Rank you can try. Even that will have such platforms where you can code and get an idea of it. It's good to have a theoretical knowledge, definitely, but in corporate, you don't need your first day to be like a bit scared about, okay, can I code or can I write it? It shouldn't be the case. So it's better in once you're free or you have time, try to get a physical implementation of the whole stuff and get a clarity on that, because your work won't be the coding part. You have to think and do the work. The thinking is the part, coding you should know already. Okay. So that you shouldn't add that to your task until unless it's necessary. Okay, some new function is coming into picture. So get a good technical hold by doing as much practice as possible, and focus on the real task problems that are coming into picture, because that will need a whole new thinking process on its own. Okay, so that will be my advice for you. Do go more hands-on rather than on theoretical aspect. Yeah.
Yes, Neil, I also feel like learn by doing is the best way to learn anything. Like that will give the practical exposure. So, okay, Aditya,
Yeah,
my next question to you is like if someone want to do hires in management, then is it reasonable to join an analytics job for work experience?
Ah, good question, I would say. So there are different ways of looking at it, different perspectives, right? The way I look at it, to be honest, I still haven't decided where I need to land up, whether I'm going to do management or anything else, or I'm just going to stay in this company forever. But any experience for that matter in the corporate culture is going to be useful. It is not going to be in a way that uh, I learned something at this point of time and I would not be able to use this in the future. That is never going to happen. The simple reason being, and since the question is purely about moving into a management kind of a role or management domain as a whole, the thing is, once you get into the management domain, then you start getting higher up the hierarchy ladder. And then there are places where you're actually reviewing numbers or getting in discussions with people who are actually, giving you some insights from data. If you have the leverage of already being a part of these teams where you have worked hands-on on these data, you would have a better way of questioning them. Your questions would not be like, okay, tell me how you got this. Your question would be, why don't I see this number there? So when you're able to increase the quality of your questions, that makes you a better manager. That makes you a better enabler or a better stakeholder. Because that's when you're going to drive more value out of that discussion rather than asking them, okay, what is happening? If a manager has to ask what is a machine learning model, and if he has to understand the nitty-gritties or the technicalities and then try to derive insights out of whatever is being presented to him, then that is time that is going to go waste once you become top level managers. Now, time becomes extremely important. So this particular experience that you get by being in an analytics profile does not only help you to gain technical knowledge as well, but once you reach high positions where you're having discussions, where you're having meetings, where they flash thousands of numbers in front of you in a single slide, you would be able to pinpoint exactly which number you need to question to, and that would actually be much more fruitful. So I genuinely believe any experience, especially data analytics experience, would be extremely important if you're moving towards a management degree.
Okay. Adithya, Neel, we have been talking about in analytics domain right from the start. But being a student of mechanical engineering, how do I know where my interest lies?
Neil will start with this, then I'll come back.
Sure. I'll take a take. So, where your interest lies, this question, I don't think there is a very proper structure to this, but in the 4 years, your goal should be to experiment as much as possible and explore as much as possible. See, until and unless might be Neil likes something, Aditya likes something, but they both like, since I like it, he should like it, will never be the case. Okay. So unless and until I give it a shot and I see if I like the work or not, I won't know. So it's not that we straight away went to analytics. I have done an intern in like proper core BHL. Adi has done interns. So we have understood the core properly. Then we understood that okay, might be we should try something else and see if that suits us better or we like it a bit more. And then we understood okay, might be this is not our cup of tea, that is a bit more. So we switched. I guess that is the best approach, because seniors can give you advice, but every person is a different person, so you should give it a shot. and then come to a conclusion is what I believe. Adi will give you better suggestions on this for sure.
Uh, to be honest, I think Neil stole most of my words there. Guys, the best thing about college is it gives you the liberty to experiment, right? Yes, we have a lot of fun. We have fests, events, blah, blah, blah. We experience a lot of different emotions. But the most important part of those 4 years in college, according to me, is the privilege to do experiments. You can experiment like anything. You can experiment like crazy. You can see which suits you, what does not suit you. And it need not be only about your career, right? It can be about the games that you play, it can be about the teams that you want to join, it can be about the soft skills that you learn, and so on and so forth. So again, the answer would be very similar in terms of this, right? You experiment, you do multiple things. When I was in college, I randomly one day decided that I'm going to participate in a data analytics hackathon. I had no clue about coding. I had no clue about machine learning. I had no clue about Excel back then. But I said, what's the max that's going to happen? I'm not going to win. But at the end of the day, I'm going to take something back with me when I move out of that hackathon. And these are the things that kind of trigger you, right? That, okay, might be the case that this is something that I might be really interested in. Might be the case that, nah, this is something that I've tried and I know for a fact that I do not like. And I think it's a very wrong notion that college students have that, they should have it in their mind what would be their best profession the moment they step out of college. I think it's a very iterative thing. Once we are in college, we can at max have a visibility towards 3 or 4 domains. I might know about, general management. I might know about consultancy. I might know about core and a bit about data analytics. But once you venture into these things, then you might actually see that, oh, there are enough challenges here as well. From outside, analytics can look like a very promising career, which is going to be a lot of fun and all that. But once you get in, you actually see that, oh, there are good enough challenges here as well. So you can never know what is your best profession or where your interest lies until unless you try almost everything. And I think that would easily take you around 15 years in the corporate culture itself to reach a phase where you are like, yeah, I have found the one particular thing that I want to do for the rest of my life. But yeah, I think experimentation would be one thing that I would suggest everyone to do so that they at least have a better understanding of, okay, I can eliminate this and I can try these things in the future.
Okay. So exploration and experimentation is the key. I hope juniors are taking note. So my next question is for Adithya. So once a junior has decided to go to analytics field, a very interesting question comes to his mind that whether he should study DSA or not, because software people thoroughly study DSA. But is it equally important for analytics people to study DSA?
Yeah. So again, a tricky question, right? There are multiple ways of looking at it. I'll just give you my perspective about this. Uh, I would be completely lying if I said, DSA knowledge or experience is not going to come in handy once you come into the analytics field. Uh, Obviously, there are a lot of things that we derive out of it. There are a lot of places where we might actually be able to utilize or apply whatever DSA has for us. But that being said, DSA is not a hard and fast skill set that you must possess to do data analytics. Uh, these are things that you can even pick up as you go. But if given a chance, I would genuinely say you guys have a good grasp of DSA once you come in. You might not utilize it or apply it completely, but there might be situations where that experience or that knowledge might actually help you do better at data analytics.
Okay. Uh, Neil, my next question is for you. Uh, so, how to apply for off-campus for a job in analytics domain? Interesting question asked by a junior.
So, see, I won't say for an analytics domain, I'll answer this on a general basis. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's analytics or not. So, firstly, for someone who is studying for Trichy, whichever company you're looking forward to, I'll definitely let you know that you'll definitely have your seniors there, okay, who are already working, might be like from your higher batches, you won't know them. But one thing that our alums have in a very good way is that when you approach them, okay, they will be very easy to approach, and they'll be giving you their opinion. They'll help you out if they can. So your first approach should be to get a clarity. Okay, if I'm changing the job and applying now, if that is what I'm looking forward to do, once you have a clarity on that, you go to LinkedIn and see whatever companies you are looking for your domain. If there is someone working from the college, because you can apply a lot from LinkedIn and stuff, but in the corporate world, referral works the best. And it's usually tough for people to get referral because they won't know people in those companies and stuff. But for people, for our college alumni and all, what I have seen till date is whichever company I looked for, there will be at least 1 or 2 people already working there. They'll have a good experience. So what you can do is you can create a small welcome message for them and introduce yourself to them on LinkedIn. Connect with them. Tell them you're looking for the opportunity. And if you have already seen that on LinkedIn, then they internally have that. They can refer you to that. So don't apply to that straight away. Rather, ask the person who's working in the firm for the referral for the same position. So that increases your chance by a huge margin. And how referral works is basically that I am working in the company, so the company has a trust on me. So when I refer someone, he's giving a way more weightage compared to you applying to LinkedIn. Even though you have a good profile or something, but a referral is given more importance. Okay, so it's better to look for connections and look for connections might be from your school, your college, and connect with them, have a chat with them, and ask them for referral. So that will ease your process and will make it a lot quicker. If it is a yes or a no, you'll get a quicker answer rather than just staying hold for 30 days or something like that. So you can try that.
Great. So I have a common question to both of you. How to get an internship in analytics field? Like, to explore this field, at least we need one internship in analytics so we can know that whether we are interested or not. So how to get internship?
I'll try a take on this. Okay, so see, and Adi, okay, if I miss anything, please to cover up. Okay, so the best way to start analytics journey. Now, when you talk about analytics firm, analytic firms are like on a top tier as well. There are firms that are starting and there are startups as well. Okay, so for you to get an understanding, you should approach startups and firms that are like easily readily available. In case you're not trying from your colleague from the college internship, if you're not trying from that, and you want to understand how the analytic thing works, you should try for a startup, because the startup will help you to get a lot of more ownership compared to a big firm. So you understand what your role will be presently and what it can be in the coming years as well. Okay, and the other thing is people like from NITs and IITs get a leverage that okay, if you don't have the knowledge also, you have a ability to learn and you have the thinking thought process. Okay, so you can be made to learn and understand stuff, and that is what most of the startups are looking up for. Like a firm recently opening will look up for people who can mold into a lot of roles rather than just one role. So let it be analytics. Now analytics, when we talk about it, it's a very broad aspect. Okay, and usually in firms we work at the very STEM level of it. But in startups like these, you get to understand what all is there, and then you work on a STEM of it. So you know the bigger picture as well, and you know a bit of depth as well. So that helps you in the coming decision making. Like we are saying, no? After internship, you understand if you want to do it or not. So that understanding is there, and after that, you know if this is not my STEM, if that is my STEM, or if this domain there is some STEM that I want to go forward to. So that is what my advice would be. That don't look for a name, look for getting the experience more in internships. If you get the experience more, like when it comes to your placements, you can easily portray it on a very higher level rather than like just saying, okay, I have done this or done that. So that would be more helpful is what I'm saying. Adithya, please carry on.
Well, great points by Neel, right? A lot of similar thoughts on that. But just before I start giving my opinions on this, I would just like to clarify that internships are not the only way for you to gain experience or expertise in data analytics or any profile for that matter. There are multiple other domains as well. As Neel was pointing out, there can be few courses that you can do. There can be few hackathons that you can be a part of. You can just randomly Google about these things and still gain knowledge about it. But yes, when it comes to hands-on, probably internship is the closest that you get to the corporate, and it makes sense for people to try at least an internship. Uh, in my opinion, right, the whole point of referrals is not only there for the point of shifting roles or applying off campus. It applies the same way for even internships. During my college days, I did multiple internships right from my first year, second semester, or something, and all these internships, or at least three of them, were through referrals. So referrals is going to be something that is going to help you in a lot of places. Again, as Neil was rightly pointing out, right? The college that we are in, the top tier college, the biggest takeaway, according to me, is the network that we create. That is basically the worth of the tag that we have as IITs or NITs. It's not about the package, it's not about what we are studying, but it's the network that is going to take you to places. So try to utilize this network as much as possible in order to reach places, get referrals, do internships there. And when I talk about other ways of getting an internship, right? These hackathons play a huge part in it. So more or less, most of these hackathons say if you get the best solution for the problem statement that we are giving you, we would give you this prize money, which is secondary in my opinion. But they give you an opportunity to intern most of the times. Like 9 out of 10 times, they'll give you an opportunity to intern with them, and then you can get into the company, understand a lot more apart from just the problem statement that you find in the hackathons. Then campus placements are something that is very common that I don't think we need to stress a lot upon it. But campus placements also would become the best way to intern in any company, right? That gives you the leverage of, you don't have to go through the hassle of referrals, multiple interviews, rounds, and you keep waiting and all that. You have companies coming to campus, you prepare, and even to prepare for these companies, right? You have your seniors who have been a part of these processes. Even if you do not have a particular person in a particular company, which is extremely rare, even if you do not have those people, there are hundreds of people who have written OTs for these particular companies. So they would know how you should be preparing or planning for cracking these. So get in touch with your seniors, again, a way of using the network that you have created, and get experience, and then start doing things at the right time. And I think more or less you should be able to land internships in any domain, specifically data analytics as well.
I think we are also utilizing our network by calling this interview.
That was a good one.
Yeah, and all those juniors who are watching this, go and straight away build your LinkedIn profile, network with people, and get internships as much as you can.
Yes. So Neil, how can I get into management consulting through analytics domain? Like this is one of the difficult questions asked by the juniors. Even I have confusion in it.
I don't
Okay.
think it would be difficult for Neil, but
Yeah,
yeah.
Neil will handle it easily.
Let me try. Okay, so see, more or less, like see, management consultancy or consultancy per se anywhere. Okay, how consultancy works is you need to understand the root cause, then you need to form assumptions on that, and finally you need to provide a solution to that. Okay, now the whole process, like for becoming associate consultant or a consultant, you need some work experience, and people look for a work experience where you're in from the domain. If not, what happens is we need people who can have a good mindset, but they need to understand the data, how it's coming. So presently in like 90s and stuff, marketing or the whole your management consultancy used to work on the management loss. Okay, this is the problem, this is it, and this is it, because your data, your now the analysis we are doing is very up to mark. Okay, I can do a real time based analysis, I can do a day on day analysis, week on week, quarterly, yearly, 4 yearly, bi-yearly. You just keep saying a guy can create that in a day or a week or so and give it to you. You analyze that and take decisions based on that. Okay, but when we say this all to take place, a consultant needs to understand what to ask from the people. Like even you, there will be people who will be using data and stuff like that. But for a consultant to understand the problem, and to ask the right questions or like ask the right data from data analyst or the juniors working under. He needs to understand the whole process. Key, okay, what all we have, what all is the domain, and will they be able to pull the data? The thing is, I know this metric can be helpful, but at the very same time, I also need to know if that is a feasible metric. Otherwise, what is the point of your experience? When you need an experience means that you have an understanding of what is feasible, what is not feasible, and then trying to somewhere get in between of the line and to give the best solution to your client. Okay, so that is what a consultant is trying to do, and he needs a lot of evidences to show them, because now when you say management consultancy, the deals are very very big. Okay, like companies like McKinsey, Bain, these companies take huge clients. You can't just tell them, okay, this is the answer I have came up with this, they'll accept it. That won't happen. They need to properly explain that, to curate, like, okay, this is the most important information, this should be on the first page. Now the story works on this information should be on the next page. Now the whole work can be done by data analyst. Okay, he can do that, but the expertise where a consultant comes into picture is analyst can formulate all the data. Your consultant will do is keep what your stakeholders are looking forward to. He needs to keep them in order. It might be that an analyst is looking at some monthly data and he's looking like, okay, there is a lot of deviation in this. But for a stakeholder at a VC level, it won't matter to him at all. So the consultant here bridges the whole difference of that and represents what is actually needed to be shown to the people. Okay, so if you have a good understanding of analytics in the ground level, then your decision making and the steps you take forward to represent or give solutions to your clients improve. I believe it improves on a high level. So it's very helpful, because see, the thing is, today the whole world works on data more or less. Okay, might be you do it in finance, you do it in business strategy, or you do your MBA in anything. But when you do management consultancy, there is a way for every answer or every proposal I give, I need to back it with data. And if I have an understanding of data, only then I'm able to back it with data. So yeah, if you have a prior experience with basic SQL and basic data structures and all that, how the data is coming and how can it be manipulated, it's definitely helpful. So hope I somehow answered. I went a broad aspect, but hopefully I answered somehow. So just if there is anything, feel free to reach out. I'll explain you more. But yeah.
Yes, it's quite a detailed answer. Like this will really help.
Yeah, and also Neel and Adithya we'd love if you can share some tips and tricks with our juniors, as in how to prepare for OT interviews, etc.
Okay, again, let me take the tip. I think me and Neel have very contrasting experiences. He took a different route, I took a different route. So I can maybe, we can together put the best of both worlds here. Guys, in my opinion, right, preparation for OTs, for placements or internship session does not start in the third year. It's something that you work towards, that you build a profile towards right from the first year. I was very keen on, getting into a good company. So it was always for me, whatever I'm doing, let it be any club, any job, any sports activity or whatever it was, I just wanted to align that thought process into the fact that, okay, does this help me in my end goal of getting into a good company or not? So once you start, having that thought process from your first year, things more or less fall in place. You talk to the right people. It happens, trust me, it happens that you talk to right people once you have this mindset, and they start guiding you, saying that, if you do this, this would help you in a certain manner. If you do this, this would help you in a certain manner. Where we come into the picture is not only about talking, but you also need to understand that not something that works for someone would also work for you. So you need to take that call, take that judgment call. Okay, it works for this guy, but I do not think this would work for me. So that's where you streamline and you kind of create a plan for yourself. So planning is, according to me, the most important thing. And as I said, if you have a plan, you also need to implement it, right? So you need time for that. That's why I said anything preparation for OTs and all does not start just 2 months before your companies actually start coming to campus. With that being said, if you are able to create a good profile for yourself, the most important thing is, I've always felt this, right? Any interview is going to last at max for 30 or 45 minutes. In 30 or 45 minutes, no one is going to exactly be able to tell, okay, will this person be a good fit to me or not for the company? So basically, you're marketing yourself. So you need to create a stitch a story saying that this is how I'm going to add value to your company. This is how I'm going to, be more helpful. Or if you do not have me in your company, these are the things that you're going to miss. So you need to create a story for yourself. And that story, trust me, can be entirely different. You should have the skill set of saying, even though I've done so many internships in core, I think analytics is where my belonging is. And you should be able to back it up. Not only when we talk about data, and Neel just pointed out, right? Whenever you're presenting something, you need data to back it up. You also need to create instances. You need to show them that so and so happened. I could have done multiple internships in my core. Like I myself did internships in Volvo, Caterpillar, designing intern, and I still landed up in a data analytics company purely because of the way I stitched my story. So you need to create that storyline, and you need to make the interviewer wonder, oh yeah, it makes sense. I would like to take a dig at this guy. See, every offer that companies give you in your campus is basically them taking a dig, saying that, oh, I think this guy would add value to me and I'm taking him in. It is not because of experience that you hold out of 4 years in college. Trust me, the experience that you have in 4 years of college cannot be applied in the corporate culture. You have to learn in your first year, then start applying in your corporate life, right? So no one is taking you for experience. They're taking you for what you demonstrate, whether you're good in technical skills, whether you're good in terms of thinking out of the box, whether you can solve a problem differently. Because if you're solving a problem in the same manner that their current employees are, there is no point of taking you, right? So these are the things I feel is extremely important. I wouldn't dwell a lot into books and stuff because to me that is very specific as to what domains you're looking for and all that. But yeah, as a pointer to how to plan and how to work about it, I would say this would be my best guess at it. Over to you, Neil.
I guess he covered everything. So I guess he covered everything. Okay, so I'll give you some minute pointers that is left. I guess yeah. So for people, if someone is watching for a core aspect, okay, for a small advice for you. So mechanical, everyone likes thermodynamics. Don't go and say thermodynamics you like, because they ask you the most hard question in that. There are like a lot of topics. Try something new and let them have a dig on that. So even they'll be like, okay, you are out of the box. So as Adi already told, right, you need to stand out. And thermodynamics is everyone's favorite though. So that is not helping you to stand out anywhere. So, okay, so that was for the core aspect. Okay. Now, in general, the thing is like it's more or less about how you present, as Ali was saying. Now, it happens. Now, the most important part while giving an interview or after the interview is how you take the rejection as well. It's not just the exception always, because you have to be ready for both the ends. Hota hai, like might be that okay, you're getting selected, might be you're getting rejected, but you need to just figure out that okay, this is the place I lack. It is not always you're lying technically. Somewhere you said something wrong, or they wanted to hear something, you said the right thing. So you shouldn't keep in mind ki, okay, I did something wrong and bang your head on that. Okay, it's like there will be ample of companies coming here, so you just be open, be yourself, and give it a shot. Just don't hold back to yourself. The more you hold back, the more time it takes. Once you let go and be like, this is me, this is all I can offer, as Adi was saying, sell yourself properly, enjoy the whole thing, it'll be fun. Just that's all. I guess it's more important, yeah, because it's like there are very few people who will get who will do first interview and who will be selected. Okay, for others you need to have a clear mindset that okay, if this is not the company, I'll see what went wrong in this one. Might be I didn't give good points in GD, so next time I'll be more attentive while doing the GD. So I'll give good points then. So you just keep a progressive attitude. Okay, I'm learning small things every interview I'm doing, and my friend will be very soon your chance to be selected. So yeah, that's how it should be.
I have just one thing to add here, right? And a very prominent senior gave me this advice. He said, when you're sitting for placements in campus, always make sure that you give 120% of efforts, but always make sure that you have 0% expectations. Because the moment you have expectations, that's what leads you to emotions like, oh, how can he get it and how can I not get it? What did I do wrong? So the moment you try to, take that expectation part out of it, it becomes much more easier. I know it's extremely easy to be said than done, but trust me, having been a part of these processes, having gone through those emotions, it is the best to always put in your efforts, keep knocking the doors as long as you can, so that at one point of time or the other, it is going to open. But at the same time, the most important point, as Neel said, is not to be hard on yourself. The moment you start doing that, you're not helping yourself and you're not helping the process. So you're just making it harder for you to get into a good company.
Yeah, so a very prominent senior gave the same advice to me too, and his name is Adithya.
Yeah,
Like
same
when he
here.
helped me during the internship process.
Yeah, even I have received the
Okay.
same advice, and it worked for us.
Yeah. Also, there is a saying which I've come across people speaking about this. I don't know how true this is, but people say that career in the field of core goes on exponentially with age, as in terms of money, in terms of position, it goes on exponentially with age. Whereas in the software or analytics domain, it starts up high and then becomes constant. So is it true? You
I
people
think
have been in corporate world, so that's why.
uh, yeah, this is a very controversial question, to be honest. I would try to answer it in the most diplomatic manner, right? Uh, I think where that statement comes from is the fact that where we start in terms of packages. Uh, to be very honest, to be very blunt here, yes, it does feel that way because core companies tend to pay less than analytics companies or even software companies for that matter. But the reason why it happens is, at least according to my knowledge, right, the more time you spend in core, you're gaining more expertise in that. So you become more valuable to the company. A person who has spent 25, 30 years in a core domain, he is having truckloads of experience and truckloads of knowledge within him that is going to add value to the company. And that's why he gets paid even more than what he started at. When it comes to other fields like data scientist, data analyst, software, blah, 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 again, you are getting knowledge. But the pace at which software or data analytics is growing in the current forum, you see that multiple people hold that. So you having a lot of knowledge is not that valuable to the company. You can have truckloads of knowledge, but the company can find people who can do it for much cheaper salaries, if I can maybe coin that word, right? So if they can pay less and get the same work done, no company would do that. No company would want to pay higher for you. So I think that's where the saying comes that you start high and then you kind of stagnate or saturate. But it's all about perspective, right? I still have those friends who want to take the route of going through core, going through the hard years, and then achieving stuff at the end of 20, 30 years where they reach a stage where not a lot of people can touch them. Whereas there are a separate bucket of people who are like, data analytics is something that I really enjoy. Software is something that I really enjoy. And you can keep jumping from one place to other in software and still earn right from the starting. So I think I would still call it a very cliched comment, but it is on your perception how you want to take it. But yeah, these are two very different things which cannot be compared.
So that brings us to the end of this session. I would really thank Aditya and Neil for joining us today. Thank you so much, guys. For the viewers, thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next episodes. Until then, goodbye. Take care. Have a nice day. Thank you.